All right, so I'd like to have a little discussion. It's come to my attention that there's just like an absolute epidemic of people that don't understand how to sell a vintage vehicle, or, for me specifically, Willys vehicles. So I talked to this guy, a while back. He's got a truck, it runs, it drives, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, can you send me some pictures of the floor? And then they get real shady. They don't want to send you pictures of the floor. Well, just come look at it. I'm 5 hours away. I don't want to drive 5 hours to see that you've lied to me about the floor. So finally they send a picture of the floor and it's gone. So, it's a solid truck, except for that the floor's gone, the bed floor's gone, the drip rail's rotted out, and the engine's stuck. Actually, I had a guy tell me, up in North Carolina actually, tell me that the truck that he had wasn't stuck and had good compression. He actually said that. He actually went as far as to say it had good compression. I drive all the way up there. It's like a 3-hour drive. Get up there. Not only is the truck absolute garbage, but the engine's stuck. Like hard stuck. And he's standing there arguing with me, telling me it's not stuck. He knows it's not stuck. He doesn't think it's stuck. I'm like, it's been stuck since before I was born. And you're going to stand here, and not only that, but you're going to lie and go higher up and say that it has good compression? Basically, that man's a horrible person. But what happens to a lot of people is I guess they don't know what people are looking for. So you get a lot of this action. You get a lot of pictures of the vehicle, from roughly, usually somewhere in this neighborhood, distance away from it, like this, which doesn't tell me shit, right? I can't see anything. It's a Willys truck, that's all I know. You get this approach. You'll get 2 or 3 pictures like this, and then my other personal favorite is when they open the door on these old trucks. They'll open the door and they'll take a picture, something to the effect of like this. That doesn't tell me anything. I want to see the floor, okay? Floor. That's what I want to see. I want to see the floor. I want to see the rocker. I want to see the drip rail. That's what I want to see. All right? This doesn't help anyone. This doesn't help anyone. This right here does no good. Why are people wasting their time taking pictures of a truck that's allegedly for sale, and they're not even attempting to make it easy to sell it for themselves? Like 90% of questions that people are going to ask you can be resolved if you just take decent pictures. Okay? Decent pictures probably cuts questions at least 80%. And then if you actually just bother to put a legitimate description, that'll eliminate virtually all questions. And you'll get guys like me that if you post them like this, then I'll just arrange a time to come look at the truck or come by it. Why do I have to beg for information, is what I'm trying to say. You're the one with the truck for sale. Why am I the one having to beg to find out basic shit about the truck that you've decided to post to the world for sale? So I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's got a truck up in North Carolina. Apparently I can't buy him in North Carolina because it's all a problem. Anyway, so you got a truck in North Carolina. And he says, it runs, drives, stops. It's a good truck, blah, 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 all this. I asked him, can I see some pictures of the floor? He sends the same picture that he's already got in the description, which didn't show you anything. And then he just, casually mentions that the frame is rotted virtually in half, about, mid-cab. Well, if he'd just put that in the description, nobody'd ask you that. Nobody would ask you anything about the truck. Just be honest in the description. The trucks I sell, I try to tell everything that I know about the truck. Like probably stuff I shouldn't tell because I don't like being surprised. I don't like other people to be surprised. I've drove to Virginia and been screwed over some Willys trucks where a guy lied to me. I've drove to North Carolina and been screwed over trucks that a guy lied to me about. I've had it happen to me several times. I don't like doing it to other people. So Generally, I probably put too much information, but I want them to know what they're looking at before they ever get over here. That way, nobody's surprised. They don't get pissed off because the truck doesn't look like the picture that I took, at 1,000 yards of it like this. They know what they're getting. I try to put, if you can put 20 pictures, put 20 pictures. Whether it's Marketplace or Craigslist, whatever. The more pictures you put, the better it is. The easier it is on yourself, the easier it is on the person that wants to buy whatever it is. It just doesn't make any sense to make it intentionally difficult for people to buy the crap you've got for sale. And then the other thing you get a lot is dudes that don't have stuff for sale and they refuse to respond. So like a Marketplace, you can't put a phone number, right? Unless you're crafty and you spell out the numbers. So you've got guys that'll they'll put it on there and then they never respond. I've had trucks that I literally wrote the guy like 4 months ago, never responded. And we're not talking, I asked him something weird. I asked him like, when can I come look at it? No response. Truck's still listed for sale. It's never listed sold. He doesn't respond that it's sold. He just doesn't give a damn. He just doesn't respond. What is the point in listing something for sale if you're not even going to sell it? What is the point? Is it just for fun? To gauge people's interest in whatever it is? So that happens quite a lot. It's quite infuriating when you're trying to buy these old trucks, because the other thing you get is people that have no clue what it is. And because they don't know what it is, they think that means it's worth $25,000 with the frame rusted in half, the cab missing, the drip rail gone, the axle broken half. They think just because it's an old truck, that means it's worth exceptional, exorbitant prices. It's not. It's not. You have to have a lot of good things going for it to be worth anything. Like the truck I sold from Oklahoma, it had a lot going for it. It was a good truck. But I've seen other trucks that were half as good as it, and they were asking, 9, 10, 12 grand for it for no reason. Just because it's an old truck, don't make it valuable, right? Especially if it's in just horrendous condition. The thing is a lot of people think that if they can talk you into driving a long distance, like for example, I drove 8 hours to buy this truck, right? To buy this one. People think that if you drive that far that you're not going to back out on them, that you'll, if you get there and the truck is nothing like they described, that you'll just buy it anyway. Don't do that. Don't give them the satisfaction. If they're a liar, don't reward them for being a liar. So when I drove out there to buy this truck, it was exactly as the man described. I talked to him on the phone. I looked at the pictures. He had really good pictures because he was actually a used car lot. And it was exactly as described. There was no argument with this guy. He was a real friendly dude. No questions asked, buy the truck. Right? The dude in North Carolina I told you about earlier in the video, that guy really thought that I'm just going to drive 3-4 hours up there, and because I'm 3-4 hours up there, that means I'm dedicated to buying it. No, because at that point I'm only out $150 in fuel. I'm not over here out 4, 5, 6 grand on a truck that's garbage that I bought just because I felt like I had to, because I invested time. Don't ever let somebody manipulate you into that. Just because you drive a long distance don't mean you're obligated for shit. So you just turn around, thank you, turn around, get back in your rig and head back home. I've done it several times. When I went to Virginia to look at those 3 trucks, that guy lied about everything. I drove like 8 hours in the rain to go up there to look at those trucks. When I determined that everything he said was a lie, I got back in my truck and I drove 9 hours back home in the rain. And I was out about, $400 or $600 because I had a buddy of mine go with me. I had to pay him for his time. That's all I was out. Instead of being out like 7 grand for 3 trucks that I couldn't have made one good truck out of. So it's a tactic that I didn't realize till I started messing with these old trucks, that people think that way, that they really think that they can, if they can hog tie you into driving out there to look at it, that you'll just buy it no matter what. It's a manipulation tactic is what it is. And if you have to beg for information, if you have to beg them to send another picture, there's a reason for that. It's because it's a steaming pile of crap, and they don't want you to know that. They're hoping that you'll drive out there and look at it, and then you'll buy it. Don't do that. If they will, I had a guy asking, I think 7 times, when was the last time that this Jeep had ran, and he wouldn't tell me. Refused to tell me. He just wouldn't. He kept avoiding the question, answering other questions I haven't asked. That tells you everything you need to know. If they won't tell you the information readily available that they should know, since it's their truck or Jeep or whatever, there's a reason. They're trying to screw you. And what I'm saying is just don't let them win. That's all I'm saying. When you go to sell a truck like this, if I was going to sell this truck tomorrow, I would take as many high quality photographs of it as I possibly could. I would even maybe do a video of it running. I would show the frame, I'd show the engine bay, I'd show in the cab, I'd show the drip rail, I'd show the bed. You show everything. Every picture that you can is better. You know, it's cliche, but it really is worth 1,000 words. Just save yourself and myself the trouble. And if your frame is rotted in half, just tell somebody that instead of getting pissed off when they call you or they write you messages asking you basic questions like, hey, is the frame rotted in half? Just put it in the description. A lot of people will still be interested in a truck like this if the frame was broke because they know they can get another frame. They know they probably can repair it. But what they don't like is being led to believe the truck is solid, and then when you get there, the frame is rotted in half. People don't appreciate that. I sure as hell don't appreciate that. So just be honest. It's very simple. The more honest you can be, the easier it will be to sell. And if you don't sell whatever it is, then hang on to it. You bought it for a reason to start with. It ain't going to kill you to keep it a little bit longer. But I just thought that this would be a fun little service announcement because I'm getting tired of it. And I know this video is not going to make any impact on any of these people that do this kind of stuff. But I just think it's funny that, that this is the tactic that they try to get you. It doesn't matter if it's a Willys or if I want a cab or a 90s model Chevrolet, it doesn't matter. I've seen this with all kinds of stuff. They won't tell you any information. They won't send you any pictures. They demand you just come look at it. Whether they're in Anchorage, Alaska or what, they don't give a damn. Just come look at it. They're just bullies, I guess, is the best way. They don't know how to sell something, so their instinct is to lie and try to trick you into doing it. Don't let them win. Anyway, on a lighter note, we are at 100 subscribers as of today, I do believe. So, I appreciate everybody that watches. I appreciate everybody that is subscribed and commented and shared and everything. I think what I'll do is if you get this far in this video, leave a comment and tell me about a story where you've had something similar like this that I'm talking about, where you went to look at something or you were trying to deal with somebody and they were trying to screw you. And I'll pick my favorite one out of those comments, and then I will send that person my email, and then we'll exchange information, and then I'll send you a Reclay Traveler hat and sticker. So that'll be my little celebratory thing for 100 subscribers. So I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody that likes and shares. Please tell your friends, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And now that we got the charging system on Jubal here, we're going to be sending it more often here. So I hope you enjoy. This is Reclay Traveler signing out. Have a wonderful day.